afternoon, everyone. Oh, excuse me. Wow. Holy crap. Sorry about that. Try this once again. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Chris Wood. I am coming from around Deserano, Ontario. I am a full 5-year revenge retaliation identity theft victim of Lennox and Edmonton, Ontario Provincial Police. Full physical identity theft victim through Lennox and Edmonton, Ontario Provincial Police and their accomplices and doctors. In late 2018, early 2019, I found out about some stuff that was going on in Napanee, human trafficking, homeless exploitation for monetary gain, possible money laundering, and other crimes, and I started to talk about it. As a result, in August of 2019, after going to mental health to get help for a certain person that was living here in Napanee and causing problems, the next day I got a visit from one Spencer Mills and a guy from the mental health pretty much telling me that if I did not shut up about what was taking place, there would be serious consequences. And he was 100% right. The very next day, O.p.p chief, he drove a white Jeep Wrangler. This was on the corner of Bridge and Center Street in Napanee. He drove a white Jeep Wrangler. He drove by at the stoplights at my previous address. He waved at me. I waved back. When I waved back, a black truck pulled up beside him. The person had black hair. I did not see their face, but they pointed something and they shot it. It went into my right ear. I started to have problems after that. Then, shortly after I was shot by whatever, I started to have a stalker, a guy that was living in Napanee at 34 Water Street. Every time I would go out afterwards, he was always right there, constantly 24/7. My exact whereabouts, he was walking by my place sometimes between 6 a.m. and 2, 3 a.m., constantly stalking. I finally got his picture. He went into hiding. I come to find out that he was using the name Bill Woldridge. He has many alias names. He has Bill Woldridge, Bill Coolidge, Bill Delarosable. He uses the name James Bubbles and Robert Cross. He also thinks he is Harry Potter. The guy is a stalker. He is highly psychotic, highly delusional. He believes that he and I were switched at birth. He thinks that he is my dad. He was also stalking my mother, and he murdered my mother December 20th, 2020. He is a co-offender, sex slave trafficker with him for Ontario Provincial Police, ex-O.p.p chief or commander. He was going to Tim Hortons daily and stalking children for their sex slavery trafficking. There is Staff Sergeants, years 2019, 2021, kidnapping, sodomy, sex assault. Shannon Cork, Robert Lucas, Dave Weiss. Robert Lucas is actually an ex-O.p.p cop. He once told me he could fuck me, kill me, and get away with it. Money, badge, family, town council. There is a Dave Weiss, a Stacy, a mental health worker that was Napanee Daily Tea Company, now Kingston AMHS. She is the one that I originally went to see, and then the next day to get help was for somebody, and Spencer Mills showed up at my door. There is Stacy, the mental health worker, like I said, that was Napanee Daily Tea Company, now Kingston AMHS, and Shelley Hafner or Huffner had me kidnapped May 2021, under false pretenses 24 hours after me asking for help with what has taken place with me. From them, wow, and then November of 2019, after being shot, I finally got an appointment for a CAT scan at Lennox and Annington County General Hospital. And the day of my CAT scan, the one known as Stacy from now AMHS Kingston was at the hospital talking to them, allegedly saying that she was there for me, for anxiety, for all of this other bullshit that is certainly not true. I got my CAT scans done. I asked for picture results. I was told that I am not going to get any copies of any results, that I did not deserve them, and that I needed medication. I have no idea what the fuck that meant, but that's what I was told, and I was not given my CAT scans. I was then, after not giving them copies of them, I was then medically blacklisted. Come to find out, the one that done it to me is one Dr. Tatiana V, or actually, she was using the name Margie V. Her real name is Dr. Tatiana V. She is the one that falsified my medical file after talking to her girlfriend Stacy. She is the one that had me medically blacklisted. She is the one that assured everything against me through her girlfriend Stacy. After being shot, I have been medically blacklisted. I have been stalked. I have been kidnapped. I have been sex assaulted. I have had serious body mutilations done to me. My full right side of my body is completely and totally fucked. I have been, like I said, once again, medically blacklisted. I have been seriously skull deformed in serious ways with 100% proof. I have been through 100% full physical identity theft and identity changes with 100% proof. All happened to me after being shot. There's been lies about long criminal record and history, lies about long psychological record and history, lies about drugs, lies about a lot of things that certainly aren't true by people that do not have to prove their lies. Criminal doctors at Lennox and Annington County General Hospital who are criminally negligent and involved in co-committing with criminal intent to commit and cover up, including sex assaults through O.p.p. Once again, name and file falsifier, medical blacklister, and girlfriend to Stacy. Dr. Margie V., aka Tatiana V., Lennox and Annington County General Hospital. She is guilty of attempted murder. She is guilty of criminal negligence with the intent to commit and cover up. In the first degree, she is guilty of aiding in the attempted homicide of an entire bloodline. There is one Dr. Pritchard, Dr. Barton, Dr. McGregor, Dr. Waldron, Dr. Joy Hadley. They are all criminally negligent of discrimination with intent. They are all guilty of treatment refusals, name calling, once again, discrimination, having me falsely charged to prevent anything legal on the hospital or doctors who are criminally involved through the patient relations. One Aaron Brown, who is guilty of attempted murder with intent to commit and cover up, and also having me falsely charged for harassment for speaking of what was taking place to her about the crimes and then negligence and everything else. And as a result, I was falsely charged for it to prevent anything legal on them. I was kicked out of Napanee, Ontario through the hospital. I was made homeless for an entire year while being injured, tortured, sex assaulted, stalked, kidnapped once again, being seriously mutilated once again, going through my full physical identity theft and changes while being medically blacklisted and not able to get help when people are disappearing. It is through Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police. The cops named they are very seriously dangerous and they are organized because they also have a justice of the peace who is criminally involved with obstructions, threats, and intimidations, and also guilty of having me falsely arrested to prevent anything legal on her for being involved with crimes the very same day I tried to get private prosecution in Napanee against her and others. Sex slave traffickers, human traffickers guilty of murders, attempted murders, sex assaults, torture crimes, and my full physical identity theft with and for Ontario Provincial Police, the murdering pieces of shit cops. One known as Dale Hartwick, he is guilty of now aiding O.p.p. for drop charges for a stabbing he committed against his wife's boyfriend. He is a speedhead. He is guilty of injured, torturing, being involved with my identity theft, guilty of attempted murder with intent to commit. His boyfriend, Tony Anthony Axel Rose Hearns, is guilty of torture. He's guilty of attempted paralyzing me. He is guilty of being involved with my identity theft and brain injuring me. He is guilty of sex assaults and he is guilty of attempted murder. There is one Robert Berry. He is guilty of attempted murder. He is a sex slave trafficker. He is a trucker and a possible serial killer. There is the one known as Bill Wooldridge. Once again, he has the many alias names. He goes by Bill Wooldridge, Bill Cooldridge, Bill Delarossable, Robert Cross, James Bubbles, and also a Stephen Maven or Mavis, which is a wanted walkaway inmate that is wanted allegedly through the police. And if the same guy is being harbored and protected in Napanee while he is committing crimes, sex offenses, and murders for them. The guy used to live at in Picton, Ontario. He is also allegedly Hells Angels Ontario chapter captain. He is a sex slave trafficker. He is a sex offender. I watched him give a blowjob to a teenage kid before I had a chance to do anything in his own driveway on Center Street and Bridge Street in Napanee behind the law office where he is or was living, approximately 70 years old. Like I said, the guy thinks that he and I were switched at birth, thinks that he is my dad, believes that he is Harry Potter, and he's guilty of murdering my mother. Along with meth trafficker, has a meth lab in Tweed, Ontario. He is guilty of rapes, guilty of identity thefts and frauds, financial thefts and frauds, welfare, disability, and old age pension frauds, forgeries, injuring, torturing, stalking, and multiple murders. A guy known as Blair Frederick, the Gerbler Hardy. He is him and the one known as Wooldridge are the ones that own and run O.p.p. They are the ones that control the drug trade through Robert Kane, the drug cop. There is also one Jason Gimpy, two-step Vanalstine. He is approximately 45 years old. He is guilty of identity theft with the intent to commit identity and insurance fraud. He's guilty of stalking and he is guilty of attempted murder. He is guilty of attempted murder on the entire Wood bloodline by doing this to me, and I now share DNA with this crack-fed, crackhead piece of shit inbred lowlife, and it can be 100% proven. There is one Tyler T. Baglake. He is guilty of torturing and murdering my dog Runt in 2023. For one Robert Kane, he is a meth-fed meth head, little piece of shit punk. He is also guilty of drowning and killing other dogs previously to that. He's guilty of attempted murder on me. There is a Bert the Hitman Hustler. He is a alleged NHL hockey player for the Philadelphia Flyers and Hartford Whalers. He is a sex slave trafficker. He is a meth head. He is a sex offender. He's guilty of torture and he's guilty of attempted murder with intent to commit with the Hardy Boy gangs. There is Jason or Tyler Teabag Lake. He is, or I already said that, I believe. And there is also one Raymond LeBlanc. He is a child groomer. He is a sex offender. He is guilty of criminal stalking. He's guilty of being involved with my identity theft, and he's guilty of attempted murder. Ontario Provincial Police are committing identity thefts to illegally traffic, frame, and fucking murder their victims in Napanee with doctors, justice of the peace, and their drug-fed, money-paid pieces of shit who cannot and will not be touched. When people are disappearing, it is through identity thefts. It is through Ontario Provincial Police. Once again, Spencer Mills is a possible serial killer. Robert Kane is a definite serial killer, and he is using these drug fed, money paid pieces of shit to do this. How too convenient. I am 52 years old, and I am now looking like Jason Gimpy Two Step Vanalstine, who is only approximately 45 years old. He is an obsessed homosexual. This is what happens in Napanee when you speak police crimes. You go through full physical identity theft. You go through full fucking brain injury. You get lobotomized. You get medically blacklisted. And you get prevented from getting help in every way, shape, and form. So cops and criminal fucking doctors, the justice of the peace, and their pieces of shit lowlives who are aiding them and cannot be touched because they are the ones that own Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police. They take their orders from, once again, Bill Wooldridge, Blair Hardy, Tyler Lake, Jason Vanalstine, Robert Barry, Bert Hustler, Raymond LeBlanc, Harry Hartwick, Dale Hartwick, and Anthony Axel Rose Hearns. Time has been bought, damage is done. My skull has been completely and totally split. I get what feels like air going through me all the time. I get hypoxia. The right side of my body has been completely and totally damaged. Compliments my lung being destroyed on me. Compliments of ex Lennox and Addington County General Hospital CEO Wayne Coveyduck, who is guilty of attempted murder with intent to commit and intent to cover up, along with and for himself, the doctors, the hospital, the cops, Bill Wooldridge, Blair Hardy, Tyler Lake, and the fucking pieces of shit who are accomplices. Each and every one of them are drug traffickers. They're guilty of selling laced fentanyl in Napanee and Kingston to commit murders, overdose murders, which is being covered up through the hospitals as others compliments because it's coming through lies from the police to protect everybody's asses. When people go missing, murdered and missing, it is through identity thefts, it is through framings, it is through frauds, it is through false arrests, the lies, the time buying, the cover ups, the extortions, and everything else being committed through Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police, who are guilty now of officially murdering the entire Wood bloodline with criminal intent to completely and totally fuck me over. They're guilty of having my dogs killed. They are guilty of having my mother stalked and murdered in 2021. And everybody gets away with everything. Poor, elderly, homeless, which they are causing to slave traffic and to prevent their victims from getting any help. This is why they are so successful in their crimes in Napanee. They have a lot of people aiding them and covering up. So once again, Dale Hartwick, Tony Hearns, Blair Hardy, Bill Wooldridge, Tyler Lake, Jason Vanalstine. Each and every one of you pieces of shit are going to answer for what you've done to me. The full right side of my head is completely fucking destroyed. Luckily, I cannot go to a hospital. Luckily, all human rights, legal rights, and medical rights have been taken away from me. I would advise the public to never speak O.p.p. crimes because your family will be assassinated. And that's what I am calling that. They will be assassinated. So O.p.p. and their offenders and others can continue to fuck your children and get away with it while they continue to sex slave your children, while they continue to get away with sex slavery, while they continue to get away with sex offenses, while they continue to get away with false arresting and framing victims to fuck them over, while they continue to get away with completely and totally changing victims' identity thefts, while they completely have their victims medically blacklisted through lying criminal fucking doctors who need to answer for their crimes. And yes, Dr. Margie V, aka Tatiana V, you are guilty of attempted murder with intent to commit with criminal negligence for your girlfriend Stacy of Kingston, AMHS now. I am Chris Wood. I live near Desrano, Ontario, and I am a full physical identity theft victim. This is what happens when you speak police crimes, and I can prove my words, everything I have said. One way or another, cops, doctors, you're gonna get the arresting and you're gonna get the cuffs that you deserve, along with the rest of your bastards. $22,000 extortion on them to have them arrested because they are boyfriends and co-accomplices and bosses to the fucking police. The doctors in Napanee, Ontario, their medical oath means fuck all. It means fuck all. They have no care or concern for your life in any way, shape, or form, and they have proven it. And they have proven that they can commit any crime and it will be covered up. All hands are washing each other's and aiding them and co-committing and covering up fucking crimes successfully. Why do you think nobody in Napanee gets lawsuits on O.p.p? It's not because they're not fucking committing crimes. It's because they're murdering their victims. They're lobotomizing their victims. They are framing their victims. They are committing identity thefts against their victims while they are sex assaulting their victims, kidnapping their victims, forcing blood and piss from their victims to frame them over, falsely charging them to get pictures, prints, signatures, and everything else needed for forgeries, framings, and frauds. In Napanee, cop, there is ex-O.p.p chief or commander, year 2019, that drove a white Jeep Wrangler. There is Staff Sergeant, there is Shannon Cork, Robert Lucas, Robert Kane, Dave Weiss, Robert Kane 7224, Dave Weiss, Stacy, the mental health worker, and Shelley Hafner. Anything more happens to me, any more changes to me, I live near Desrano, Ontario, and I can prove my words about what I have been talking about. 5 years revenge retaliation. O.p.p, you're guilty of murdering the Wood bloodline through using your pieces of shit and your criminal doctors to cover this up. Luckily, I could not get medical help, legal help, or anything else. You won, you fucking terrorist, and that's what you are. You are terrorists. Do not ever call the cops in Napanee because your life will be put in danger. And I say that without any hate. I say that with true fact. Anything more happens to me, revenge through the cops, through their bastards who they cannot, will not touch, who are now guilty of murdering an entire bloodline by committing full physical fucking identity theft to me. Look what the fuck you've done to my skull. I have shown serious, serious damage and deforming while being called a delusional, hallucinating liar through criminal doctors in Napanee, Lennox and Addington County General Hospital, in Kingston at Kingston General Hospital, and in Belleville at Belleville General Hospital through criminal negligent fucking doctors after they told me, we seen your file, we seen your file, we seen your falsified file. I had not been to a hospital or a doctor in approximately 7 to 10 years prior to being shot by ex-O.p.p chief in 2019. You want to brain injure me? You want to completely and totally fuck me up in hopes that I forget about this? Jason Vanalstine, you're going to answer for what you've done, you piece of shit fucking goof. And you're probably sitting right at 34 Water Street in Napanee at Queen Elizabeth Apartments, or you were at one Robert Barry's on Bridge Street, or you were with one Raymond LeBlanc on Dundas and East Street behind Mamma Mia's Pizza, where that piece of shit needs to answer for killing my dogs as well. One Raymond LeBlanc. I am going to get off here. Obviously, nobody is seeing this, and I hope somebody does because it's very serious and important. O.p.p, Blair Hardy, Bill Wooldridge, Tyler Lake, Jason Vanalstine, Dale Hartwick, Tony Hearns. You are murdering fucking pieces of shit. You are dead identity thieves. You are brain injuring, slave trafficking, wood bloodline stealing, murdering fucking pieces of shit. And I'm not taking a fall O.p.p for any one of your bastards who you can and will not touch. You fuck over your victims. You don't touch your fucking bosses. Be safe, everybody. Never speak police crimes. You will be assassinated, and so will your fucking bloodline. And I can prove my words anytime O.p.p want to exhume my dad in Deserano, Ontario. I'm more than willing to let them do it because of what they've done to me with Jason Vanalstine and the rest of their fucking bastards who they are feeding crack, meth, fentanyl, and speed to their drugs of choice to commit the crimes that they are getting away with for them. When you're a terrorist fucking murdering serial killing cop, right, Spencer Mills? And that's exactly what I am labeling you.